How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Zim's Beer Review. I'm your host, Garrett Zimmer. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. First, want to say thank you to everybody who commented, liked everything on the Battle of the Beers Light Beer Edition. I got such a positive feedback and just in general great feedback from that I think I'm going to do a part 2. There was a lot of beers that you guys said, hey, you need to include this one, or you need to include this one. Why wasn't Hams included? What about PBR? It's better than all of these light beers. So I think a part 2 is in order. So stay tuned. I think next Sunday, we're going to do a light beer part 2. So tune in for that. If you voted, you'll get an idea of what beers are going to be in there, but there's going to be 3 additional very popular, very common light beers going head to head. And I might even throw in the Miller Lite into that simply because it kind of won the first round, and we'll compare it in the next round. So anyways, enough about the next episode. Let's stick to this one. Today we're reviewing another beer from, I think I've done this brewery in the past, but we're doing a beer from Samuel Adams. I think they probably need no introduction. Samuel Adams Porch Rocker, the green, it's invisible because of the green screen, but you can see it right over here in my on tap today. It's kind of a green label, but this is Samuel Adams Porch Rocker. I think Samuel Adams probably needs no introduction. They're a craft brewery, but I would say they're bordering on like a macro craft brewery, if you will. They're so big, so popular. They're available everywhere. Everybody has seen Samuel Adams Boston Lager. They are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, craft breweries in the nation, probably in the world, actually. If you don't know who they are, you've been living under a rock, that's for sure. But this is a beer, I've never had this one before. I've had quite a few Samuel Adams beers in the past. I really like a lot of their stuff. I think the Boston Lager is a really solid craft beer. As far as them being as popular as they are, they have managed to not lose what really made them great, and that's just making good beer. So they make some really good beers. I'm excited to try this one. This is the Samuel Adams Porch Rocker. They're referring to this as a refreshing and tangy Radler. This is a limited release. It's going to be a summery beer. You can tell, Porch Rocker. It's going to be a summery lighter beer. But this is a tangy Radler, they call it. If you're unfamiliar with what a Radler is, think of a shandy. That's more commonly, they're known as shandies nowadays. Leinenkugels is huge into the shandies. All of those, I think you could probably classify as a Radler. I think it originated, like the actual Radler term, somewhere in Germany, I believe. I looked this up years ago. But basically what it is it's, in general, it was always a beer mixed with like some sort of a juice or a ginger ale or something like that, a lemonade, something along those lines. It was a beer mixed with something like that. And nowadays, it kind of just means a lighter, citrusy, maybe not even always citrus, but a lighter, refreshing beer juice combo. Like I said, the Leinenkugel's shandy line, they have a ton of them. That's kind of what this, I'm assuming, is going to taste like. Let's open this thing up and get right into it using our beer opener from Shaverwood. If you're interested in purchasing one of these bad boys, check the link in the description below. Awesome homemade all wood bottle opener with a little nail and a magnet. Super cool. Highly suggest you check it out. But anyways, let's pour out this beer. As we're pouring this beer, very golden in color, very yellow, light yellow, light gold. So you can see here, very clear in color. The aroma, right off the bat, it almost is like I'm getting hints, like a lot of orange, surprisingly. Now the orange is kind of slowly turning into a lemon. Right off the bat, it really smelled like right after you pour a Blue Moon and you squeeze your orange in. It was orange, like to the T. But as it's sitting, it's really turning, I'd say, more lemony in scent. I'd say orange lemon is predominant. almost like a borderline skunky scent to it that you associate with beer. It's that skunkiness, but it still feels the lemon and the orange are overpowering that. Woo, that's tangy. I'm tasting the lemon most. It's carbonated, but not overly carbonated. Very light, a very refreshing beer. I think this is definitely right in line with what they're advertising. Summer all the way. I'm getting a lot of lemon. I'm getting a lot of orange, like comboed big time between those two. Maybe I'm getting like a spice of some kind in this too. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. The lemon, it tastes a lot like, I'd say one of the Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, or the Lemon Shandy, excuse me. But not quite that lemon. They didn't go that far. Not quite that far, but it has hints of lemon, orange, and a spice. See if I can nail it down. Like I think it's ginger, actually. I think it's given me, it tastes almost like an Asian influence somewhere, but I think it's the ginger coming through. Lemon ginger now, less orange. I think I could have mistaken that somewhere in there. I'm thinking lemon predominantly, ginger second, orange third, very refreshing, almost no hop characteristic. I mean, I don't smell hops at all. I'm not tasting hops at all. It's a refreshing beer, good for a summer. You could drink multiple of these. It's not so sweet that you can't throw back 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be on a Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon. Very refreshing, sweet, but not overly sweet. Really good flavor profile. I thoroughly enjoy this beer. I don't know what like the calorie content or any of this is, but as far as like this new wave of seltzers that everyone seems to be drinking, White Claws and Truly, or I mean, heck, everybody is coming out with their own seltzer nowadays. This tastes like that, like a seltzer if it were turned into a real beer. It's still light, but it has that beer background. It's a really good Radler, I guess. It's a shandy, but it's not so sweet and tart and tangy like you associate with a lot of the Leinenkugel line of beers, those shandy line. More subdued flavors, but I think it's a very good beer. We're going to check out Sam Adams' website really quick. Just going to show you a little bit of stuff. Not going to dive super deep into Samuel Adams. We'll pull down our thing here real quick. Before we go any further, I would really appreciate it if you guys could like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out big time. Let you guys know when new episodes are coming, especially like episodes like next week, where we're going to be releasing part 2 of the Light Beer Challenge. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. You can see what new beers are going to be reviewed. But enough about that. Let's get back to the beer. As you can see here over my shoulder, this is the Samuel Adams website, samueladams.com. Nothing crazy, pretty obvious there. Their beers, they got a ton of, like I said before, if you don't know who Samuel Adams is, you've been living under a rock. They actually started brewing beer in 1984, so they've been around for quite some time now. The one thing I did want to show you guys is something that I did not know was their tap rooms. They're one of those beers that breweries, that they're so popular and so big now that you almost forget that they still are a craft brewery and they do still have tap rooms. You almost view them like the big guys, like the Budweisers or Anheuser-Busch or whatever it may be. You don't expect them to have a tap room. And I put the Samuel Adams, they are the big dog of the craft beer. So you almost forget that they're going to have tap rooms too, but they have 3. They have one in Boston, another one in Boston, and then one in Cincinnati, Ohio. So if you live in any of those towns or if you're visiting those towns, I've never been, but I bet you they have some pretty awesome taproom stuff going on there. So with all their beers, with how big they are, you know it's going to be a great time. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. I really appreciate it. Like I said, tune in next week. We're going to be doing the light beer taste test, battle of the beers, budget beer, light beer challenge, whatever you want to call it, with the top 3 rated beers behind the ones that I did already. If you missed it, I did Coors Light, Bud Light, Miller Light, and a lot of people wrote in and said, hey, you need to do this one, or you need to do this one, or you need to do this one. So I actually put together a full poll with all these different options and said, hey, vote. I had over, I think, 200 people vote, 150 people vote, something like that. And so I took the top 3 vote receivers, and they are going to be what we review / taste test / challenge next week. So if you're interested, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't miss that one. It's going to be a good one. And as always, if you like this and if you want to see a certain beer, leave a comment, send me a message, whatever it might be. Reach out to me and let me know, hey, great review, or I would like you to review this beer, or hey, I really like, such and such beer from Samuel Adams. Let me know. I'll do my best to review it, and I'll give you a shout out in the video for requesting it. So anyways, thank you everybody. Cheers. Porch Rocker, very good. Today, I just got off work. I'm actually going to go have a few of these on my porch. So living up to its name. Thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you next week.